Good evening, everybody. It's good evening, everybody. It's the Truth Serum, and first and foremost, thank you for the newcomers that come in here. Help me out, subscribe, hit the like button. They're telling me you got to tell the viewers to hit the like button because it helps the algorithm of the channel, of course. But yeah, I should be more technical. But I appreciate the people that come in and watch. I really do, more than the other guys do, I believe. And so let's just I want to establish that first. And God rest my dead pal that today's his 1 year anniversary. Joey T, rest. So I appreciate everybody's support. And I wanted to, I was talking about Joey Merlino and Mike Francis. And of course, there's a lot of Mike Francis backers out there. No kidding. He's the YouTube golden child. And you really better be careful what you say about him sometimes because your channel might just get eliminated. Maybe. So, but I rock and roll on my channel. I want to keep my channel going. I've been censored and everything else before, so I want to keep it going. And I check the comments out, and it's like when Joey Merlino said something about Mike Francis's father or whatever, and Sonny Francis is the poster child for the true gangster. Went and did 60 years, 50 years in prison, got out when he was 90 or 9 or 100. We understand all that. And there's a lot of backers that say Joey Merlino was in the wrong for that. The way I feel about it, Mike Francis, you put your face out there with all that bull crap you're spewing on your channel. Now listen, and all that riffraff garbage you're spewing out of your mouth. It's open season. You're talking about hits and murders. What about their families? What about those families that were at funerals? But it's so sacred to talk about Sonny Francis or whatever the deal was. Whatever. It's because Joey Merlino said it. Joey Merlino's a gangster. This isn't the Boy Scouts, tough guy. This isn't the Boy Scouts. What cartoons he has on him. But so I think they're only going on Patreon, Joey Merlino. I think they're only going to do Patreon or something along those lines. And I like Gene Borello. He puts it out there. People hate him, but he's a second generation guy, 35, 40 years old, and people hate on him. But he's that generation of gangster and all that. And I like listening to him. Everybody that's on has been cooperated. So, if you talk about the rat game and everything else, like what Mike Francis, like, so he does a mafia channel, but so why does he have immunity to talk about all these stories? Because he cooperated. No kidding. He's so bad, so much of his ego. He just doesn't want to be the essence of him as being a rat. Go right ahead and be a rat. That's the temperature of YouTube and the social media and these channels. The people are still watch anyway. Sammy the Bull, the rat. They're all so you still want to throw out around that rat game and debate. Yeah, there's people on both sides of the fence that have strong opinions of about people that ratted and people who didn't rat, and you could make a case for both sides. But he's so embedded into putting that persona out there. If you people really knew him and like It's all Hollywood. He's out there in that fortress in Hollywood, Los Angeles. He's out there, and it's all bells and whistles. It's all Hollywood. The guy was never a boss. Them see one thing that you viewers have to understand, that to have rank in the mafia, a soldier, an associate, or whatnot, a capo, captain, or whatever, underboss, you can't call yourself something outside of your title, something outside of your job responsibilities. He wants to go out there and put in all these thumbnails. Mob boss, former mob boss. The boss of what? The Boy Scouts or what? The boss of what? And I side. I mean, whatever. If there's to take a side, it's open season. Whatever Joey Merlino wanted to talk about, or whatever, the Mike Francis situation, if something he spoke about Mike's father or whatnot, it's open season. Mike Francis, you're on YouTube, social media. It's open season. We're not talking about the church choir here. We're talking about the mob and gangsters and violence and hits. I wonder why Joey Merlino got shut down. Or I wonder what happened. I wonder what the story is behind that. Mike Francis didn't like what he was saying. Joey Merlino brought out the paperwork, the proffers. So, Mike, the next video you make, come right out and say, my name is Mike Francis. I was never a mob boss, and I am a certified rat. That's all. You'll still get views. You'll still get views. Chris Colombo went on his show and did an interview. I like Chris Colombo, Joe Colombo from the Colombo family. The boy, Chris Colombo, I like him. But I know he's trying to raise his channel up for views and subscribers. So he sits down, or sit down with Mike Francis. And it was bothering me, as I said in my other video, it was bothering me that you should have said, what are you calling yourself a boss? My dad was the boss of that family. What are you calling yourself a boss for? I don't know. I mean, sometimes I don't think you know, it's this genre, mob talk. I gotta have content. So yeah, I'm gonna ride the back of Mike Francis. And you know what? Anything goes. It's a rodeo. Whatever Joey Merlino wanted to say, he could say whatever he wants to say. And if he suffered consequences for that, his channel suffered consequences because of maybe you're the golden boy of YouTube. I don't know, but I saw real gangsters, you know. Hey Joe, how's it going, buddy? And if you, I was an errand boy running around, but your title of what your responsibility is and your position in the mob is held to esteem, to a certain, held to a level of esteem. And he's got 75 thumbnails. Former mob boss, former mob boss, former mob boss, former mob boss. You were an accountant, bro. You were an accountant. They put a pin on you and said you could be the captain and you could do the freaking cookie drive over there, but the real players are over here. And in the meantime, those Persicos, are there descendants of the Persicos? Alphonse, Carmine, and Teddy, or are there descendants? That was the Persicos. Well, one was in jail, and I think Gene Langella was the acting boss, so to speak. Most of those captains were more or less running the show. He comes up here 30 years later. He was the former mob boss. Mm-mm. There ain't nobody to put him in check. There's nobody to put him in check. Go back to Brooklyn and walk the streets over there. You'll be fine. Nobody's gonna bother you. You got security up the yin yang. Go back to New York, Mike. Excuse me. He's in La La Land, and everything's, I guess it's entertainment, and he's entertaining. I like listening to his stories. I'll admit it. I like listening to his stories. If I want a bedtime story, like a baby that gets a bottle and put it to sleep, I like a little. But like I said before, I'm coming to believe that it don't even matter who's telling the truth or not. You just have to be entertaining. So I'm gonna get up and do a tap dance for you guys, and I'm gonna be entertaining. All right, are you ready? Oh, sorry, I forgot my tap shoes. So I'm a little immature here too. Please forgive me. It's the truth serum, and I wanted to put something down. It's been 3 or 4 days, and I was inviting anybody. It's kind of late for this, and I want to invite anybody to come in here and hang out with me. And if they want to ask questions or shoot the breeze or anything like that, that's fine. Um, and Mikey Scars and JR, I appreciate the comment and the support in here, and the other guys um, that come in here. Lucio, good evening, Paisan. Somebody, somebody come in. Thanks for joining. I'm just talking, trying to see who I can get in here, Lucio, and I appreciate the support that you guys come in here, and I mean, I like to have fun, spread love and compassion, and everything else. But thank you, sir. Thank you, Lupep, Lupep. But when you've seen firsthand a lot of the collateral damage that happened to these gangsters and their families, and the fallout from it, which you don't see on YouTube, but you're taking guys to prison or you're going to funerals, and you know that's it. Joy big time. Ah, everything's all right here. I just impromptu. I'm not that technical and stuff, but I get on here because I like hanging out with my people that come in here. But like I was saying, uh, you see firsthand. Now I just ran around at the club and run for some errands, but you see the damage that was done to people that might be mourning someone that got hit, or when the families got their kids in tow and they're going to prison, and they're visiting their loved ones, and it's serious. It's real life. That's why I get so peed off when, like, the Mike Francis or whatnot, who else, they trample all over it. They crap all over it, like it's just Hollywood and bells and whistles, and he's like the Godfather. Now listen, buy my wine and buy my whatever, buy my cruise and everything else, and it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. Eminem, Mike, hey, how you doing, Michael Mormile? So that's why I get a little, you know, that my that there is no mob. Joe, some people are two faces. Yeah, he could still do content and get 5 million subscribers and views. He doesn't need to lie. Why does he got all these editors and producers that are just telling him, Sammy the Bull Gravano, they write his stuff and everything, and that's fine. But kind of stay close to the truth. A little bit. Stay close to the truth. But yeah. Do loop up. I'm over 600 subscribers. I've been doing this for 2 years. I think I've done close to 400 videos. I pump them out, pump them out. I've been censored. They blocked my channel. I can't talk politics anymore. No more politics. So I learned my lesson. You be a good boy, Truth Serum, or we're going to throw you to the curb. We're going to throw you behind to the curb. So thank you, Lou Pep. So and my godfather, see that Mike waited for everybody to pass away, and then he started his YouTube channel. Because, of course, in life in general, respect. Everybody wants some respect, and you should give respect. It's a mutual thing, respect. And what Mike Francis does over there, labeling himself all this false labels, is completely disrespectful. Yeah. How's it going? EB23. How did you hear about Joy Merlino getting demonetized because he apparently caused too much? I wonder well, that's what I'm talking about, EB23, because they're the golden boys of YouTube. I don't want to get in trouble here. Please, YouTube, this is just a small channel. Don't kick me to the curb, all right? I mean, so they're only doing Patreon, I guess. So, they take in big revenue for YouTube. Well, you get a certain percent. It might be like 70-30. YouTube takes a piece of the action, and that's a lot of capital. That's a lot of revenue generated from these two personalities, these two channels. So I got to give Joey Merlino credit, like a true gangster. He came out there swinging. And he brought the proffer on there, and he showed what was caught out. But the fact of the matter is, no, I don't have StreamYard big time. But Mike Francis, just concede you're the classic rat. It's okay. It happens in that life. You're in a federal building, in an office, rubbing elbows with the feds. It's okay, Mike. He's got 10 million subscribers. It's okay. Quit painting these polished pictures of this persona and character that you're not. You've been successful pulling it off, and honestly, you've been successful. But holy cow. Holy cow. I'm still alive. Mike F., I'm still alive. I personally know half that stuff you're spewing is yeah, EB23, they said Joey Merlino, he was swearing a lot. I try not to swear. I just say F up or crap, because I broke all the rules before, and I didn't realize my subscribers would rise up. I was going to jump ship at one point, and I says, well, let me just go. It's not that much to follow the rules a little bit. When in Rome, do like the Romans. I mean, okay. I don't try to be no tough guy. I might get aggravated about things, but more or less, I try to promote love and compassion the way my single mother nurtured us. I mean, yeah, we're all emotional about certain things, but if all those other gangsters were still alive and I know an old guy that was a captain years ago. He's like 80. I showed him a Mike Francis video. He was laughing. At first, he told me, don't go on YouTube, don't do this, blah, 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 this and that. He was very against it. And now he opened up and everything. And then he went, wow. I go, he's the king of YouTube. He's the boss. He's the mob boss of YouTube. He goes, wow. The guy was nothing but an accountant. Nothing but an accountant. Why don't he talk about the money he had to shell out to the other families and captains and everything, so they wouldn't the best chess player out there, like, hey, let me kick this up in good faith. Here's a number here. Let me kick it up. You better do that first before they come, and then they demand what you're going to give them. Did you tell your viewers about the sit down of how you're going to disperse some of the millions of dollars from the gas stuff? You know, Mr. Spataro, Happy New Year to you. Thank you, sir. Mike's all you know, when you go have a coffee with somebody, Mike, it's a sit down. Everything's a sit down. What about the sit down you had with some of the other captains or bosses from the families when they became aware of all those millions of dollars? How much? Michael Amari, hey, how you doing, man? Wow. Belichick retired, and he might go to Atlanta. I don't know. You know. Yeah, it's Dominic Chikali. It's in Philadelphia. Well, see, there's a lot of people that know a lot of juice about Sammy. Most of it's been said, but people don't realize that the publicized Sammy the Bull Gravano when he did the Senate hearings, and then you realized he was a rat, and his name was internationally publicized. Well, I'm guessing because sometimes I want to watch my wording, but you get the gist of it, my good people. I'm guessing Sammy the Bull Gravano was a rat before the world knew he was a rat. I mean, that's common sense, but back, rat, back. How does a guy claim to be a key enforcer for what a deadly crime family and numerous, maybe a dozen, whatever? There's a new number every day of how many hits Sammy the Bull Gravano committed or ordered or actually committed physically. But wouldn't he be doing life in prison? But it's just common knowledge. If you're on YouTube, you got immunity because you worked with the federal government and you cooperated. What did you know? They they want to can't they clean it up a little and say, well, he cooperated rather than just saying he's a rat. And everybody's got their views on it. But Joey Merlino, back to Joey Merlino. I liked him up there, putting it out there. And Gene Barello, nobody likes him, you know. Oh, he's in Florida, huh? Dominic. And people hate Gene Barello, but I had an extended second family member, or maybe not even cousin or ever, that was like Joey Merlino. I mean, like Gene Barello. And treacherous, but he was still a lot of fun to be around, you know. Yeah, the Bills won a division. Now what? They're off to Pittsburgh. But Gene Barello, he's got a lot of things in the fire. I mean, the stories he tells, he's very entertaining, and he rock and rolls. A lot of people don't like him, but I like that flavor of the mob personality. I like that flavor. Him and Joey Merlino don't like each other and everything else, but I like that flavor. I like it. Mike Francis is not the flavor of the mafia. That's all fairy tale, bedtime story stuff. No, he's not. He's not. Mm-mm. Highly successful channel, I have to admit. But other than that, he's a scrub in my book. In my book. In my book. In my book, they dead miss. What a segue, huh? I'm getting better at this. Amazon. Now listen, buy the wine, buy the cruise, buy the book. Because I do it by the book. They dead missed. Amazon books. They dead missed. Mike Francis is in there. Mike Francis is in the book. under Mike F. And there's a Mike S in there too. Yeah. Yeah, Mike. I don't promote it a lot. I don't get a lot of sale, you know. Good read though. I can write. I can write. I'm just not a Guido. Yeah, you know, we stabbed him against the wall and then it left a big stain on the wall. No, I'm educated. I'm educated. Academically educated. I'm educated. I'm a wordsmith. What do I laugh at my own jokes? Well, so I like you guys coming in here. We shoot it around, you know. We throw things around, but I was in New York and you know, Mike Francis got two cars full of security. 2 cars full of security when he wanted to come out into the streets. 2 cars. Like those black town car or Continental car or those extended ones back then, like almost like a limo, but not a limo. 2 cars, security. It's understandable, but I think it's overkill. There were guys still walking the streets with no security that had a bounty on them. You know, my godfather would tell me stories, you know, sometimes people would get wind of it and I'd be like, Mickey, why did they just run and leave the state if somehow they got word that they might be vulnerable or in danger? He said, Jojo, they walked the streets and went to the store and did this and that or whatever. And it was just like they took it. What did they just went with the flow, no matter whatever might happen. They just went with it. Oh, Mikey boy, he had you know, and my godfather even told a couple of them guards in the street, back off. Back off. 10 paces back. 10 paces back. Back off. With all the security, everything. You know, back off. Go back to the freaking dungeon and count those millions up. You know, back off. Back off. Coming out here. You can't just go meet somebody with a friendly meeting and you know, it was odd that we could meet in like not in a enclosed location, but you know, you go do something in the street or a little store or something. And it's just like, for what? What are you afraid of? You're safe in the open air with the security. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I don't blame him if you got all that money and you could pay for security. Well, you probably might want to do that too. That's understandable. But if you just had friends to hang out with, that might be some rough customers, and then those would naturally be your friends. Who are his friends? Everything's just from the certain perspective of, I don't know. I'm talking smack, but yeah, that's terrible. Joey Merlino, he's only he got on there. Gene Barello, he gets views. He gets views. But Mike Francis didn't like Joey Merlino, what he said, and everything. But Mike, please forgive me, Mike. It's MobTube. It's MobTube. It's okay for the collateral damage that the Colombo family did to family members. And you were supposed to be the boss. You claimed to be the boss of the Colombo family that was a treacherous crime family. So, of course, there was violence and murders. So that's hunky-dory. There is nothing off limits after that premise. So it's open season. If he wants to talk about anybody, anybody, a relative, anybody. Well, that's off limits. That's family members or this or that. No, well, it wasn't off limits when the Colombo family was murdering people and the loved ones were going to funerals. That's not off limits. Oh, okay. What are you? Who are you? Are you a mob boss or are you an altar boy? Or are you a social worker? Who are you? You can't have it both ways. Any thinking person could surmise and deduce from that. I don't know, man. I think about it. Yeah, you want to let it go in the breeze, but the Colombo family, treacherous family, and my godfather did work for them. If he was alive, he'd be sitting right here, and I'd say, "What about this?" Mike Francis said you can't talk about anybody's families on YouTube and this and that. He'd say, "Really? It's off limits." Is there some moral compass that needs to be held to? While you're self-proclaimed mob boss of the Colombo family, really? Where were the morals when them people were going to funerals? Oh yeah, it's all your way, Mike. It's all your narrative. It's all your historical garbage that you spew. It's all you. You are the schema and you're the go-to guy for Joe Blow YouTuber to go find out about the mob. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the guy ain't even a gangster, okay? He's not even a gangster. He was not a shot caller, okay? He's up there with Chaz Palminteri with that wine like a little girly girl. Buy this. It's a good Sauvignon from the grapes of southern France. They're probably dried up grapes from that drought from California, from them dried up vineyards, and you're selling bottles for $100 a bottle of that swamp water. Come on, man. I don't know. If there was someone else here, this would be like a knitting circle. This would be like a gossip circle. If I had someone else here this would be, but I'm still alive. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. I'm still alive. And uh I don't know. I ain't saying that much bad about him. I mean, I would, if I saw him, I'd say, Mike, enough, okay? I come in peace. I come in peace. But enough of all that. Tell your good stories. Your best successful channel. Be yourself. You don't have to put all that extra La La Land Hollywood stuff on it. You don't need that. You're smart enough and entertaining enough. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. That's all. This is the truth serum. So, BK Cell Crook, how's it going, bud? Jump in, the water's fine. So, yeah, it's been 3 or 4 days. I wanted to touch base with you good people, and I've been a little busy getting things done. Things are going good for me. And jump in, but there's no belly flops in this pool. There's no belly flops. So what was I saying? I forgot. It must have been a lie. No. So yeah, BK's in the chat, Mike. These guys got good names, man. These guys have good, colorful names. You know, Big K Cell Crook. Cell. I think I knew 4 Sals. No, I'm not trying to disrespect you, BK Sal Crook, but it seemed like Sals were always bartenders. I don't put Sal the bartender. And they're all good guys. They're all good guys. Sal's family from the club, if by accident, if everybody watched it, God bless you all. So, yeah, there's yeah, I was gonna tell a story about this one associate, cap, whatever guy. He had some rank on him, and his wife was cheating on him with a cop, with with a police officer, and he had all these crazy ideas in his head, and you know, they weren't divorced yet, but this guy was kind of unstable, and his wife, uh, you know, must have went through some hell, and he uh, more or less busted them, uh, and then he wanted to retaliate, and it was like you can't really go after police, and it's. Mm. But most of the mob wives, they went through a lot of stuff, and they big BK Cell Crook says years ago, if a cop messed with your wife and you walked in, the cop would shoot you and get away with it. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, like I heard different versions of how it transpired, but it's irrelevant. But it's just like they really there were crooked cops on the take, but more or less when that starts happening, then you're more interpersonal with wise guys, and somewhere along this guy's wife must have showed up somehow or whatever in their interpersonal dealings, and but there was so much corruption between both of them that you just had to leave it alone, because then everything would have been exposed. And I mean, then it's they could lose their pension and all of that stuff. And there's been some highly publicized rogue officers from New York that, I mean, they were working with the drug dealers and everything else, I guess. But yeah, I lived over a cop at one time. I lived on the second floor. I was selling marijuana at the time, and he was a cop, and he was from New Jersey, and he had like 6 brothers, and they were businessmen, and they were also drug dealers. And then he would have intelligence on the the uh, the CB radio there of everything that was going on, which roads to take. Hey, Tommy Stick Social Club. Good evening. Good to see you, my friend. So, but it was kind of you can't do violence. But that officer I knew, he was cool, and I was doing some things up there, and he was actually my landlord, and he lived downstairs, and uh, I had the place kind of booby trapped because I would know if he came into the apartment or not, and so I was devising these schemes to know if the door was wide open. I was always a strategist, trying to, even with some of the crew guys, strategists of how to think. Not like nothing like that. Yeah, the cops escorted the drug dealers making drops. Yep, stay away from Highway 49 over there. Go the other way and everything. And they had walkie talkies or whatever they were using, but there was a lot of corrupt cops. There was 2 in Buffalo they called Batman and Robin. They did an illegal search on me, and I beat it. They did an illegal search on me for marijuana, and then they were going to just try to rob what I had. And they didn't even put into evidence, which I'm glad, the total weight that I had. It was like, nah, that's about 1/10 of what I actually had. Thank you, corrupt officers. But it turned out to be an illegal search and seizure, and then they got exposed later, and they were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. They called them Batman and Robin, these two corrupt cops. It is, but they had made so much money. Yeah. Telly, man, good to see you. We got somebody new in here. We made so much money back in the day in Syracuse. Cops were easy to deal with those days. Yeah. I used to actually run bets for a cop that was a security guard, and you know, he was security in a mall, and he said, "Jojo, put these bets in for me," because he was in uniform, and he was he wasn't a bad actor, that one. But everything's good here, Tally, man. Everything's good. But welcome to the channel, The Truth Serum. I've been on here, my family's the Colombo family that I'm loyal to. Not loyal, my godfather did a lot of things with them, and that's them. And that's Mike Francis is crapping all over them. Yeah, the cops were on the take in Brooklyn until the late 1990s. They were caught taking swag out of Sparrow's Club on Bath Avenue on camera. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. There was some, I don't know if it's publicized or not, because I don't really know what was in the newspapers and whatnot. But even with the King of Harlem, that guy, my mind is shot. The biggest, the Harlem guy there. It was too much money when they were moving that kind of. Yeah, Nicky Barnes. Thank you, Big Sal Crook. Yeah, thank you, my Uncle Jimmy. First worked with Mickey Cohen out in Kennebec. Wow, I got some people in my. I got real people here. This is the biggest, smallest channel. This is the biggest, smallest channel on YouTube. I got the real people and the real juice in here. But can you imagine now? Okay, let's say, what's this, 2024? You got to look back 30. Let's just say 1990. A federal agent might be making $60,000 a year, 45 depending on seniority. And a police officer probably taking in 27, 30 a year. You're going to shake down these people that have hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the temptation is like, listen, Mr. Badge, depending on the charges, how embedded you might be with district attorneys or all that. But just for the sake of argument, let's just set that aside. You might be offered from this criminal 5 times your annual salary to just say, hey, get the hell out of here, go the other way. This never happened. That's pretty tempting. And a lot of guys did it. And a lot of times they were switching people around on these drug task force because the superiors would sometimes wonder sometimes how an investigation got botched. Last hour it got botched, and they had all their ducks in line and everything was going to be smooth. Jam these people up, and then what happened? Oh no, they come up with some cockamamie story, and then the investigation is compromised, and then somebody got greased 6 figures. That's all. They found money. They raided a place. They found money in a closet, like a potato sack bag or whatever, and they kept it. potato sack bag, and there was a crackhead in there. They didn't know. It was like they didn't know, but there was a crackhead in there, and that was supposed to be watching the place or something. But they came in there, and you can rest assured they didn't turn all that money in. And especially when a lot of the mob, and you see social media, YouTube, and drugs weren't allowed. Drugs will get you killed. You sell drugs for the Genovese, or the Genovese rocked and rolled with that. And they have like a designer name. The Genovese family is, it seems to me personally, that's a designer name. Different perceptions, Gambino, Colombo, Genovese, or whatever. But it's like we don't sell drugs. We don't do this. We don't do that. Well, that a lot of the crews in these places, and even captains, were degenerate gamblers. They would get paid their pay, and whatever side hustle they might have, or they might be taking their own bet, bookmaking, taking bets, sports bets, horse bets. So they would finance their gambling addiction to selling cocaine, straight kilos of cocaine. And Unique Mecca, he's got a channel, Unique Mecca Auto. He was called Unique Mecca Auto. My hat's off to him. He got busted. He did 30 years in there, 35 years. He's out now, Unique Mecca. And he was moving tons. I mean, they're all in close proximity. I'm in New York, these boroughs, they're all in close proximity. So do you think somebody said to him in Harlem, is like, well, you can't sell? No, they were passing money around. They were making millions and millions of dollars. And you look the other way. The old school boss or captains might not have liked it, but things were changing. The mafia changed right up to where it's extinct like a dinosaur. If anybody tells you that the mafia still exists today, they're just blowing smoke up. What are the rackets? You could go to the casino and bet sports. You can buy marijuana, which is, or whatever. You play the lotto. The government's the new gangster. The government is organized crime now. Well, the bootleggers were doing, what? Then what they do? They made alcohol legal. I mean, the government is the promoter of it now. But organized crime was the public enemy number one. Organized crime's public enemy number one. But when they start realizing and generating revenue like that, it's all right. They shook my grandfather down in the middle of the street for 50-cent daily doubles, horse race bets, 50-cent daily doubles. A hardworking man making an extra book for $20 a week or something. They shook him down at 70 years old in the middle of the street. And now it's legal. The government is worse than organized crime. They're worse. Because if you beat a guy and you beat him good for his money and everything, at least that he might give you a couple dollars for the week if you got a wife and you got to pay the rent or something. At least a wise guy might say, hey, I know you got beat up pretty bad on football or sports. Here's a couple extra dollars. You can't go to the casino after you lost $5,000 on a football game and say, I can't pay the rent. I say, what? Can you give me a little rebate or something? Mr. Mario Mendez, one of my original subscribers. I'm doing good, buddy. So the government is worse. They're way worse. The New York State Lotto Commission and Gaming Commission, They're worse. The numbers racket came out. The numbers racket. The money that the numbers racket took in years ago, well, there's the daily number. They got it at the afternoon number. They got the nighttime number. They got the take five, the pick five, the lotto, the lottery, the Super Bowl. By the way, they're taking in billions of dollars. Where's this tax money? Why is there potholes? Why are the taxes rising up? Where's the money? Tally, man, at least when the mafia was around, people weren't starving and working for peanuts like they are today, like they're doing today. Yeah, I mean, I like to peel the layers back here, throw some things around, meet some cool people in here, and take a look at things. That's all. I was bored. It was like time I haven't done a video, but Brittany Acquire agreed. That's the same around most places. Welcome, Brittany. Welcome aboard. All aboard. Hey, last train to Chicago. But yeah, well, all the rackets and the people that went to prison. Jeez. But yeah. I'm still going. I think I got 630 something subscribers or six. I'm getting up there. Next stop. Next stop, Willoughby. Is that New York or is that Canada? Is that Canada? Have I just gone international? Oh, wow. I got to warn you, I might be a little immature at times, but we'll get through it. You know what I also like to do? Well, I don't mean to, this is mob stuff. Oh, okay. Oh, all right, Willoughby. I'll be all right. I should know movie references. But sometimes I like to do an open forum on forgive me, folks. I'm not a tough guy like that, but I used to do couples counseling, and later on when I was academic, I always achieved academically, but I built up a little clientele, and people that are struggling in addiction. I rocked and roll on drugs and everything else. And Joe, you had a reason to do drugs because you had injuries. Now, I did drugs because I like the feeling of being high on drugs. I like the feeling. I'm not promoting doing drugs, but I like the feeling of being high on drugs, rocking and rolling and gambling and everything else. I like the feeling of being on drugs. So I'm not going to cop out and say, well, Joe, you had a reason for being there. I don't care how much pain I was in. I like the feeling of the drugs until heroin turned into fentanyl and I was dead. My 10-year anniversary of overdosing on fentanyl. Newsflash, everybody. The Truth Serum was on drugs once upon a time. Breaking news. I knew it wasn't heroin. It was that goofy fentanyl. And January 18th, 2014. So next week is my 10-year death date. I was dead for a couple hours. They brought me back. I was on life support and they brought me back. So I was dead. So my 10-year anniversary is next week. I've been clean. Nicotine, caffeine, slot machine. Screw those slots, that sucker game. Sucker slots. So back to what I was saying, my good people here, that I want to do something, but I don't know how I could attract. Yeah, people don't realize when you're jonesing. Thank you, Sal. You're jonesing and you can't hustle enough money to get your dope. It's like the devil coming up on you, and oh boy, I wouldn't want to put that on my worst enemy. Oh boy. But so I don't want to just be like this mob genre channel or everything else. I want to diversify a little bit and sometimes talk about maladaptive behaviors, relationships, problems that people might be experiencing in their lives. And I was given a second chance. The angels come down, rescued me. I made a comeback. I still got most of my mind. I still got most of my mind, and give some support to people that want to talk about some issues and problems that they might be experiencing, because I was given a second chance, and I better try to promote some compassion for somebody, because the mob talk gets a little old once in a while, but it keeps my channel going. And but I just want to be a talk show host. I'm a frustrated talk show host. I could carry a network talk show. I could. I'm confident. I'm confident. I don't have a script. I'm here. Blah 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 blah. I don't have editors and writers and lighting and tech. Look, here's my light. Here's my light. Put me in a studio with producers. I write my own stuff. I don't need to write. Because what I'm saying is it's easy. I taught a class in college, Speak with Confidence. I'm good. I should be on network TV, a talk show. And hey, you know what I might start doing? I should start doing interviews with people here. Just certain charismatic or colorful or interesting characters. But none of the old mobsters, they don't want to come here and talk about stuff. The old gangsters don't want to come on here. I ain't going on there. You look about the same age as me. You know how they thought about feelings when we were coming up. Hey, tally man, I'm 60. Yeah. And in regard to that, I used to drive this one guy in this crew. Okay, I got you by 10. And he was having problems with his wife. And it's almost like they analyze that show, whatever, Billy Crystal, and you're just recycled teenagers. Hey, I'm having a midlife crisis. Well, my midlife is gone already. This is not even. I'm past midlife. Thanks, Britt. But you know how you express your feelings, and these wise guys, they always had to put on that, and there's just some tough rock and roll hardcore dudes out there that just they rock and roll. But one guy that was kind of tougher, all right, stop it right now. So they try to put on this, and they have to maintain that persona running around, and they have responsibilities and everything. But I used to work the card games, and I would give these guys rides. They'd get drunk, or so they'd be in my car a lot of different times. They'd be in my car, and I used to just hustle, and money. Yes, all donations will be greatly accepted. So, and I was talking around the club here and there. So I got the one guy in the car, and he starts talking wishy-washy about like feelings, like feelings. We don't talk about feelings. You're a gangster, bro. You're and so he had a few toddies, and he said, "Yeah, you're pretty smart, Joe," and all this and that. And he says, "Why am I having problems with my wife?" And I says, "Well, I don't really, because I don't want to be like analyzing this guy and telling him about these crazy behaviors, because he's going to turn on me and go, you." So I got to tiptoe around it. And so I'm driving. So I get ready to drop him off. And he's like, "No, keep driving." And I'm trying to get rid of him. And he's driving. And And I says, well, what's the problem? And he says, well, I think she's cheating on me. And I'm like, his wife is like a nun. These wives, a lot of them are just like, they're like nuns. They put up with some of these crazy guys. And so he says, you're going to tell me something tonight, Joe. And I'm going, nah, that's your business. I don't want you to get mad. I don't want you to get mad. Why am I always accusing her of this and all that and everything else? And I says, so he's screaming. So now he says, because he knows money talks. So he pulls out some $100 bills and he says, now you better tell me something. I says, don't strike me or don't get pissed off. I says, well, the way it looks like, you got low self-esteem. Your ego is suspect. And deep down, you don't feel like you're good enough for a woman. And then why would a woman stay with you? So if she had any common sense, she would be cheating on you. So that's your thinking process and everything else, because you got low self-esteem. You no good mother. So now he gets quiet. I says, well, I'll drop you off now. Thanks for the money and everything else. So he says, well, you think so? You think whatever. I said, you had a lot to drink tonight. Just forget about it, because those are feelings. You see, they don't want you to, like be that personal. Be that personal. It's hard to get real personal with some of them guys, especially psychoanalyzing them about why they got these maladaptive behaviors and why are them. Number one, what motivates you to think like that, and number two, is it justified? That is it, but it's not, because she's a proper woman and she should divorce you, my friend. She should divorce you, but hey, hit the like button. They tell me that you got to hit the like button because it helps me out. Help an old man out here. Pardon me, Mac. Can you help a fellow man down on his luck? But yeah, then I went back. He said, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. I'll freaking smash you up, Joe. Don't tell anybody we had this conversation. I said, no, it takes more of a man. It takes more of a man to open that up, talk things over, talk things over. That's more braver. Yeah. It's easy to act like a tough guy, rah, 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 and all that, So you know how people for a raise up, we were just acting like, yeah, the guys, Italians, and even, most cultures and different nationalities, that all those older generations, they were, they didn't open up, maybe in their, the summer wind. So, but I saw the other side of some of them wise guys, and, and then psychologically speaking, you wonder what's the evolution of nature and nurture that Carmelo Falco, hey, what was the evolution of that point, that person being a violent guy, maybe a murderer? What was his environment like in some household, From The Sopranos, Carmelo Falco. So yeah, that's like stuff that you don't really hear. You hear about it here on the Truth Serum. You hear about it here. That's all. I wear a lot of different hats. Well, but truthfully, since this is the Truth Serum, I might lie once in a while. So, I want to do different types of things here for if some people are going through some things, drug addiction, bad relationships, depression, anything. I'm free and I'm the best. I'm free. Just like Ozzy Osbourne said, if you want to ride with me, I'm free. Yeah, you can ride with me. I'm free. Therapy is free here. But there's a way you can donate to my channel in there somewhere. There's a way you can donate to my channel. I have the least, and I don't ask for like all these other millionaire gangsters on TV. I don't ask for nothing, but I am once in a while. I do, you know. So I got a Cash App. Oh, yeah, I don't know how to put it on here. You know, I do have a Cash App, but I don't know how to put it on here. I need it. If I had the real deal with some support, you know, I'd rise. I would rise. I'd end up on network TV. But me, I am the network. I'm the network. We should all be confident and have goals and aspirations and everything. And if you people have dreams, you know, Carmela, you have the same birthday as Ozzy. I missed that. Jeez. Wow. I think Jimmy Page just had a birthday too. Sammy G has a YouTube channel now. Carmelo, you bought the book? Oh, you were the person that bought the book? You want to see little Jojo? Look at that. Help this little boy out. Help him out. I don't know. It's nice if you get donations, but I feel funny about that. You know. You know what? Right after this picture was taken, I got pneumonia and I was in the hospital for almost a year fighting pneumonia. Right after that, poor little kid. Help this little kid out. They dead missed. Bad title. Good writing, though. Good writing. So, Tommy Stiggs was in here. Thank you, Tommy. I watched that thing, you know. We'll leave it at that. I like Anthony Ruggiano. Bob Ross, welcome, Bob Ross. Welcome aboard. Tallyman, I didn't know Sammy did timeout ADX Colorado until I saw. I think that was at the end of his. Wow. It's tough to speculate about Sammy the Bull Gravano because, you know, I was born in Brooklyn and then we moved to, my father was from Brooklyn and my mother was from Western New York, and I was born there. And then my godfather, who did work for the Columbos, he was there. He was friends of my father, and that, you know, from Brooklyn. Yeah. And my grandma down there lived at Avenue D. On his side, Avenue D. But I can't go down there because I had some brain damage and a brain injury, and like to navigate. I was down there with a friend of mine, and he zooms around, boom, 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 and everything. I forgot that knowledge. I forgot. It's crazy because I had to relearn everything, you know, with a brain injury. I had to relearn everything, and it's crazy how the neurotransmitters got to reconnect, and then ba 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 ba. Oh, you were in Bensonhurst. As far as I'm in Sunset Park, Borough Park, Bay Ridge Park. As far as I'm concerned, just me personally, that Bensonhurst is just like the center of the universe as far as the New York City and all that. That's just like, I get the feeling, you know. Oh, you did time in Poughkeepsie? Yeah. There was a roast. I'd have loved to seen that. No, I didn't know there was a Mike Francis roast tonight. Who roasted him? There ain't nobody. He don't deal with friends personally or anything. I don't know. Forgive me, Mike Francis. Forgive me. He's in the book under Mike F. I roast him every chance I get. You're right, Carmela. I roast that lion every chance I get. I roast him. A pig roast. A rat roast. Wow. Yeah, Carmela, I cook them up. Well done. We're serving Mike Francis. Well done. But, in defense to Mike, because there might be fans here and the rat roast, you made it through that world. I mean, and it's tough to do. You made it through that world, but you read it or whatever, but you made it through. There's a more humanitarian side of me. And then there's just more of like, I don't like people pissing on the fraternity when you don't have to. You don't have to. If I wrote his show, he'd have double the subscribers if I wrote his show. But we're going to talk about different things here sometimes too, because I'm going to need to diversify. I'm going to need to diversify and have some different topics. And, oh, I wouldn't want to go back to that life. I lost everything. Tally, man, you got, you're still young. You're a thinking person. Go rock and roll. The world is yours. I did a video on manifesting your reality, and you can. Bob Ross, I think Chris Colombo is a wonderful cat. He's a jolly man. And, Chris Colombo, forget about touting sports. You can't pick a winner. Forgive me. I'm not picking sports on here anymore anyways, But Chris Colombo, Mr. Bob Ross, he's got the partner there. Good guys. Forget about the sports. You're from the Colombo family that's so historical in mob lore. Get down to some nitty-gritty mob stories. Forget about touting sports. Forget about that. But Mr. Bob Ross, thank you for coming here and joining. I didn't like that he sat down at Mike Francis's sit down when Mike Francis is self-proclaimed calling him the boss of the Colombo family in his thumbnails. Did anybody see this? Did anybody take a step back and actually think that? Like, Chris Colombo is this direct descendant from Joe Colombo. Recognized mafia crime family. But Chris Colombo piggybacked Mike Francis to get more viewers and subscribers, because who cares about mob history? These channels just want subscribers and views. But if it was me, forgive me, I like you, Chris Colombo. I do like you. But if it was me, I wouldn't come within 100 yards of you friendly. When you're going to sit up there and urinate all over the Colombo, all them people that did prison time and got whacked, and you could sit up there in a fortress in California and call yourself former mob boss on YouTube channel? Flagrant foul. Flagrant foul and the ball, plus possession. And 2 free throws for that. plus 2 free throws. So Chris Colombo, you're a grown man, and he's very likable. Very, very likable. But the Persicos were no, I better be careful what I say. I better be careful what I say. Well, more or less, those other bosses and other captain and under bosses, they were in prison. Yeah. They're talking about the vision board over here, Carmela and Brittany. They're talking about a vision board. Do you have vision? Do you have goals? It might be related to goals and dreams and vision, and manifest your reality, folks. There's nothing you can't accomplish here. Chris can't pick and choose good rats or bad rats. All right, Britt. I got you, Britt. Yeah. I get so wild on here. I talk about the quantum physics and the matrix and how to manipulate time, and what you're thinking and everything. But we'll save that for another day, because we are, at the end of my videos, I say, be the kings and queens of your world, because we are from royal DNA. But we're not going to unpack that right now, Sauce or gravy. Oh, I miss the old sauce. I miss the old the book Psycho Cybernetics is great. I got my consultant in here because she's on point with that stuff. I like that. We only have one life to live. Why not investigate other things that are, and if it could help us, yeah. It's sauce. Yeah. Speaking of sauce, I was young, and my grandparent, they would make the sauce from homemade sauce, and I was seeing a girl. I was young, and her father owned an Italian restaurant. So she was gonna come over. She says, "Yeah, I'll make some pasta and sauce and everything." And I'm all psyched. Boy, she must know how to make it. Her parents own an Italian restaurant. She come in and she had a bag and she had ragu. And I said, "What's this? Don't you know how to make sauce?" And she's like, "I ain't gonna slave over a stove." I says, "Well, I was just mistaken. I just thought you might have some good sauce. Your parents got an Italian restaurant." I was kind of excited and amped up. She's barking at me. "I ain't gonna slave over any stove. I don't know how to cook anything, blah, blah, blah." I says, "By the way, Sally, there's the door. Not that I want a slave for a woman. Not that I'm not, I don't want, like, so you people don't think I'm some chauvinistic guy or anything else. But I was young and I thought the culture meant a little more. So, and she's barking at me. And I said, I'm sorry. I says, "But I don't like your attitude. And now this has got messed up. You gotta go." Then she tells all her girlfriends. Where am I going with this story? Where am I going? This is like, what? Then they were all bad mouthing me. And then the girlfriends that were bad, like that she was talking smack to, they wanted to date me after that. But no, I was younger back then, But I'd have to make it like that now. Oh, the smell was in the air on the south side. On Sunday afternoon, you could smell it in the neighborhood. The smell was in the air. Oh, how nice. I want to go back. Oh, man. You get older, and it seems like every generation, my good people, my good friends here, the next generation doesn't keep up, the culture. the culture. But Chef Boyardee was good in the can. Chef Boyardee. Yeah. Yeah, that's the sauce. I'll never have sauce like that. Yeah. And a lot of people, the Italian, a lot of the guys like my grandfather, he was the cook. My grandma knew how to cook, but my my grandfather manned the stove with the sauce and everything. And my mom learned, and so she was good. Rest her soul. But the culture is gone. I mean, so I get shrieked when I go. Like I got ragu in the cupboard right now. It seems like that's like a crime, but eh, get it in somehow. But it's like a crime. But yeah, yeah. My brother was a good cook at an Italian restaurant. My older brother. Hmm. Yeah, they had a guy. They have a restaurant chefs that has a, sauce on the market, and I was going there uh, way a long time ago, and they were developing in that, and he knew me a little more personal, and I was testing the sauce for him. I acted like I knew what I was doing. Oh, just a little too salty, or I don't know if there's garlic in there. I was just whatever. Mhm. No hard boiled. What's going on here, Sal? Sauce over. Oh yeah, you know what I did? Yeah, the hard boiled eggs on top. I think on Christmas, I was somewhere on Christmas, somewhere on Christmas, like midnight dinner or midnight mass, and then they put the octopus in there and all that. But I think that's when I seen it. Hard boiled eggs. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, they had it at some gathering, Christmas for the Christmas thing, and then they would put that fish like the squiddy octopus in the sauce during those special occasions. And yeah, there was hard boiled eggs or whatever on there like that. But now I don't think you'd ever see that again. But oh well, you get it all here, folks. You get Francis, you get Merlino, you get the sauce, you get the gravy, you get psychology. Oh wow, my battery's about to run out. Oh Lord, we're just getting heated up, an hour and 23 minutes in here. So vision boards. All right. Everybody has a vision and you're going to get there. It's a new year. My New Year's resolution was quit smoking. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But there's other things too that we can do better. So if you're in some trying situations, and Rocky's in here, nice to see you, Mr. Eric Roberts. Oh Lord. So my charge is running out, and I'll be more technical. Merlino quit smoking and drinking. Yeah, but he said, well, I don't know. I don't know. He's off the thing now, You've been catching up on my videos. There's a lot in there. I did 380 videos in like 2 years, but my subscribers is going up a little more, you know. Yeah. Leon Swan is in here too. He was one of my first 5 subscribers. He said, keep going, Joe. Don't give up. You see, sometimes we need to lean on each other a little bit for some emotional support and some encouragement. So, Just Larry telling him, hey, let's go. Just Larry. Hey, we got new people in here, and my charge is gonna run out. Please forgive me, but it's been an hour and 24 minutes. And stay positive, Sal. coming from Sal. And come in to the talk show and we'll talk things over and we'll shoot it around, because sometimes we don't always have to talk about mob stuff and things like that. Good night, Carmela. Thank you for your support and everything. Oh yeah, and they say hit the like button, because the like button is supposed to be the most important tool for this platform. So hit the like button. And Brittany, good night. Yeah. You're in Miami? You know what? Stay in touch, Tally man, because I want to travel. I mean, if you're willing to see me personally, I don't want to encroach on you or anything. But yeah, I want to go down to Florida in the spring or something. I got family there. And I like people. I like people. I like mixing it up. Obviously, I've done 382 videos. So, you know, I appreciate the support. Oh, Brittany, Albuquerque. Yeah, I had my old timers from there. Oh, okay, just Larry. Utica, a lot of rich history out there. Nice there. Wish I was still up there. All right, folks. I don't want this to just blank out, because that would be a bad send off, because I'm not a technical guy, but we're gonna get there. And we're going to rise up to 1,000 subscribers. That's all. We're going to be riding in the limo. Tallyman. Thank you. Good night, everybody. And remember, be the kings and queens of your world. Don't give up. You're going to get there. You can do it. The world is a vampire. It wants blood. But you can fight back. Okay? That's all. Hey, Real Truth over UK. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate that. And we're going to come back and we're going to keep rising up. We're going to keep rising up. And then when I have 1 million subscribers, I'm throwing a party for everybody. That's all. Throwing a party. So that's that. So do some lives, Rocky. You can do it. You know, it just hang in there. Sooner or later, the algorithm will catch up, and hang in there. You know, I'm a lonely old guy, so I get in here and talk, and then it just probably is working out a little better right now. So, all right. Go Bills, Buffalo Bills this weekend. And if there's any gamblers in here, I hope you make a score. We're going to rock and roll next video, and I'll talk to you then. God bless you all.